Чарли Бертон, соучредитель и главный аналитик EasyTrader.com. Трейдер с 17-летним стажем. Выступал с презентациями на Nine Investor and London Investor Show. Участник документального проекта Traders на канале BBC.
You do a lot of live trading demonstrations, which is astonishing and quite risky. Is it a brave step to take?
I've been doing live trading for years now. It's not risky if you manage your risk. So I only ever manage a small amount of risk per trade, and I enjoy doing live trading demonstrations for people. I think it helps traders with their own beliefs if they can see a professional trader in front of them trading with a real account, as opposed to just talking about historical charts and the theories of trading. So to me, yes, you're putting your neck on the line when you're trading in front of an audience of people, or if it's going out onto YouTube. And no, I don't make money all of the time when I do it, but that's what I like to show. Is the reality of trading is that you have losers and winners, but over a series of trades, then hopefully you're profitable, and that's what I try to show.
What's an average ratio of your losing and winning deals?
It depends on the type of trading that I'm doing. So if I'm intraday day trading, then the ratio tends to be a bit higher. My win rate will be 60 to 70%. And the reason it can be a bit higher when you're day trading is because I'm looking to take smaller profits. But whereas when I'm swing trading, so that means when I'm looking to buy today and maybe hold my position for several days or even several weeks, I'm looking for much bigger moves in the market. Much bigger moves in the market don't always happen. So my win rate actually drops, and it's somewhere between 40 and 50%. But the difference is that when I win a lot. So I have more losers, but they're small losers, but when I have my winners, they're much bigger.
What qualities are required from a trader who does intraday and swing trading?
There's so many qualities that you need to have, but if I just pick off one or two, that I would say number one is discipline. You have to have the discipline to be able to, one, manage your risk and not overgear your positions. You have to have the discipline to not try and trade too much. So you have to have the discipline to sit on your hands and wait for the right trading setup to come along. I always say that trading is like watching surfers out at sea, and they'll be sitting on their boards waiting for the right wave to come along, and that's what we need to do as traders. We need to have that discipline to wait for the right trade setup to come along. So discipline is first and foremost. Really within that the context of discipline comes risk management, money management, all of these other factors really come within that. So if you had to ask me what quality, I could say that, well, that is probably the one quality, because so many other things come within that. Things like having strategies are not important. Yes, they are to an extent, but you won't make money just with a strategy. It's the qualities, like you say, of a trader, and you have to have discipline. If you've got the discipline, you can stay in the game for much longer, and when the markets are misbehaving or not doing quite what you want, then that discipline will enable you to just trade through those bad markets, so that when the markets are doing what you want them to do, you can make some substantial gains.
What is your advice on choosing a suitable broker?
I think it's very difficult because there's so many brokers out there, and I do think it's a personal thing. It's a personal relationship you have with your broker. But if I had to say, especially as we're talking about forex trading, good spreads. But good spreads and low commissions aren't everything. Probably the most important aspect of trading is execution. Is your broker going to execute for you in the correct manner? And what I mean by that is that some traders may suffer a lot of slippage with some brokers, whereas other brokers may actually charge slightly more or have a slightly wider spread, but their execution is much better, so the traders don't get the same amount of slippage. So if I had to say if it's one thing, then I would say it's all about execution. How do you know, though, when you're going to open an account with a new broker, whether they're good at execution or not? You don't. You have to try them, or look for a broker that's come on recommendation. So give them a try. That's probably the best way, is to get a recommendation. And it's not all about who's got the tightest spreads. It's about who's going to give you a good service and good execution on your trades.
You took a challenge for BBC Traders project to increase your trading account from 1,000 to 100,000 US dollars just in 2 years. How do you estimate your chances of succeeding?
Yeah, I did the challenge to help with a lot of our traders in the UK and America and other places around the world with their beliefs, because the average trader has less than $10,000 to start with, or even within the first few years. That's the average trading account size. So I wanted to show people what can be done potentially, and I know it's a very, very high return. It's 1,000% return over the period of 2 years, but I wanted to show what potentially can be done. Do I think I can actually do it? I'm halfway through and I'm up about 450 to 500%, but I'm just past the halfway mark. So maybe you could argue that maybe I'm slightly behind, but I really don't mind if I'm slightly behind in this next 7 months. So can I do it? I don't know. Does it really matter if I only made 700%? That to me is more important. What's important is showing people what can be achieved. Whether I get to that 100,000 or not, to me, it was just a nice round number to say 10 to 100. But even if I got it to 60 or 70 or 80,000, I think most people would still say, hats off, you've given this challenge a good shot, and you've still done reasonably well with that. So I hope people would think that anyway.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.